Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's show, Beautifully Bruised in the CPS show. Oh my God, I am so glad that you have tuned in because we have some vital information that I do believe that is going to definitely make a difference for the better in your life. We have an awesome guest that's going to be on that's actually here today. She's going to be sharing her story, and it is such a touching story. You know, we all have something special that we've been through, that we've learned from, that we've grown from, and this is another edition of that. So again, without further ado, I would like to welcome my guest, Mrs. Candace Valentine.
How you doing, Miss Latrika? And thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely, Candace. When I seen your story, I honestly it touched my heart in a different kind of way. It was truly a different kind of sting, pain. You know, I've always said when you go through something personally yourself, it affects you differently.
Absolutely.
It
I
really
still
truly
agree.
does. It has a different, it gives you a new set of eyes.
Yes, it does. I agree with that too.
Yes, it does. And so, without further ado, Candace, we actually have a video that that I also was privileged to watch of her. Is giving more of her story about what she have been through with CPS as far as them taking her children, beautiful children, away. So, if without any other hesitation, I would like to go ahead if we have that video prepared to show our listening audience of her story.
Tonight, Philadelphia is taking a second look at the way it investigates child abuse.
Yeah, critics argue that the city is separating families. New at 5 o'clock, NBC 10's Brandon Hudson spoke to several parents who are fighting for change.
I got pictures for days.
Flipping through her phone is the only way Candace Valentine can see her daughter.
My daughter was happy.
And every time she cries.
Nothing but smiles. Nothing but smiles.
Candace hasn't seen her daughter in more than a year. The mother said the Philadelphia Department of Human Services took her daughter because she was homeless at the time. The experience has shaken her family's faith.
My sons don't even believe in God no more because he said to me this weekend, Mom, how am I supposed to believe in God and I don't even got my sister?
Candace spoke out against DHS at a city council hearing, a meeting motivated by Councilman David O's personal battle with the agency and resolution to change its guidelines. Candace said she's organizing a group to work with city leaders.
We provide the services that's needed in order to keep these children home.
The group would help moms like Asia DeWitt Nicholson, who traveled from Florida for the hearing. Do you feel as though you have a chance to be a parent to your child?
I feel like I never had a fair opportunity to be a parent to my child. I feel like I was cheated out of that opportunity.
I think the things that we're upsetting to hear about today is the maltreatment that happens to kids once they come into the system.
DHS Commissioner Cynthia Figueroa said of the 12,000 cases DHS investigates, only a fraction of families are separated.
Of those investigations, there was a higher percentage of kids that actually remained in their home, and at the service we have called in-home service. We actually reunify more families.
Brandon Hudson, NBC 10 News.
Wow. Again, I'd like to thank my producer, Grace, for having that video available to help the viewers get a better understanding of why Candace is here, and she is greatly fighting passionately and won't give up until her children are returned back home. I also must say, starting out with my the show, that God has allowed me this platform to be able to. Again, I have also been a victim of CPS, where I had my child that was also removed. But by the grace and mercy of God, God gave me the necessary strength, the wisdom, and the discernment to be able to outwin CPS, where they were by the judge forced to return my child home. And I also want to give credit where credit is due. They will be with Attorney Vince, who have allowed me the opportunity to interview on his platform, just like you're doing today, Candace, to share my story. And once my story was shared, he did invite me on, as I think he see me more like a veteran, because my story occurred years ago. But again, the ultimate goal was to get my child back. And I did get my child has been back for years now. And I also want to, yes. So by the grace of God, I do believe in giving credit where credit is due. I feel like this is personal for me. This is the ministry that God has given me to be able to reach out in the vineyards, get out and down in the trenches, get dirty with people so they can show what it's really like going on with CPS. When I first heard of CPS, I saw it as something as somebody that's there to help you, resources that's there to, I don't know, bring you things that you need to help you with your children, to help your family become better, educational wise, resources wise. But I only found out there was nothing but far from the truth. I also like to thank Grace, because without her, she helps me a whole lot with getting me ready to get the things that we need to get the information out here. So again, people can be fully aware of the truth of what's going on with our stories and why they need to be heard loud and clearly. So without further ado, Candace, I definitely again want to say thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule. I know you have visits that you have to go through and different things. You're living your own life, trying to balance out so much that has taken place since CPS has abruptly entered into your life and has taken away your beautiful children. I would also like to say as well, starting out, I would like to allow my guests something to be said starting out that you would like to share, and you definitely have the mic to do so at this time.
I mean, I just actually watching that video, I sent clips and stuff like that out, but it is still to this day so triggering just to be able to still have to continue this fight. But just hearing it from then and hearing it now, and for me to still be pushing, I'm grateful for that, because that was years ago and I'm still fighting for my daughter.
Wow.
So I just, need people to know, like, you got to just keep your strength and your faith. And that's all I have right now. It's certain things that I just got to stay away from. I had to learn how to adapt with not being able to parent to her. And I don't think the state understands that. They don't understand the trauma that they're causing, the mental health problems that they are making exist that shouldn't be existing in the first place. So I just want to commend any mom that's, or any parent that's fighting for their child and just trying to still be the best parent and human that you can be. I just commend y'all.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I remember that. I remember asking God, am I going to make it through this? You are dealing, I do believe definitely it brings on a sadness, a word sometimes that can't describe. You giving birth to these children in the hospital, shopping, getting their clothes, packing your bags, all these memories that cross your mind. Like you would have never thought that you would have to live through a time. You don't know what your daughter or your son ate yesterday. You don't know if they had a thought that crossed their mind yesterday saying, where is my mom?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's so real. It is so real. I remember one day walking through my house, and my son is considered, they say, deals with special needs, and he has a lot of artistic, but basically not special needs, but he's autistic, but they are very, very smart children.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you said that, because I don't like when people try to discredit our children because they think they was born with a defect. I really disagree with that all the way. When autistic children and individuals are very smart, smarter, capable of being smarter than the average. So I need a lot of people to stop sleeping on autistic or special needs or different, because I've done 15 years in behavioral health field, and I've seen all kinds of different individuals and people with different capabilities. So we all are equally the same, and I need people to not judge us based off of what papers say.
I totally agree.
It's paper. So
okay, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm just agreeing with you. You could be right. That's so true. Actually, I think we can learn from them, if you want to know my honest opinion.
Absolutely. I agree. Some of them have a lot more stronger tendencies that we have, or patience, or it's different, a variety of things that they have to offer. So yeah, I don't agree with people sleeping on special needs or autistic children at all.
That is so true, because I want to say, even with that label they tried to place on my child, I can say today he's been in the gifted and talented. So what y'all might see as a negative, honestly, it could be a jewel wrapped up under some things. You just got to have patience and time and understanding to let it reveal itself.
Absolutely.
So Yes, absolutely. So I know that's true because I personally live that. And I just like, as we get ready to go into our segment, Candace, I'm going to ask you a few questions. I think that's going to help, the world know your story. When I seen the video, what we just shared, and actually speaking with you over the phone, I feel so much love in your heart for your children. I do. I could just, I just sense it. I feel it, and I'm going to continuously keep you in prayer.
Please.
Oh, I will, because I'm a child. For a sure fact, that is what brought my child home, is that my faith in God, because they took away everything I had. They took my home away. They took away my degree. They took away cash. They took away material things, but they couldn't take away my faith in God. And that was the ammunition that what was utilized to help me with my son back with must say this, having an attorney that was skilled, like Attorney Dent, someone that knows CPS law, someone that is aggressive. You have to have the right people in place to help you bring this thing back home full circle.
Absolutely.
And I mean it. So I'm going to see a way if we can, contact you. I mean, be able to reach out to Attorney Vince to see if maybe you can speak with him, or to see what we can do to try to help you get that type of legal defense in your favor. If not Attorney Vince, or someone in your area that we can try to connect you with, because it is a way that has to be done. And it is.
Totally agree with that. I really appreciate that, because this is one battle that I am just fighting by myself, but I just refuse to give up. I don't have it in me. It bothers me for y'all to sit here and tell me I can't do something, or I can't have her. I just believe they're crazy.
Correct.
I just look at who are you to tell me I can't have my daughter? Correct. I never abused my child. Especially when he's I got a 60-year-old that need a beating. He don't get beatings. You see what I'm saying? So I don't even abuse my kids.
Right.
So it's not even, it shouldn't be acceptable.
Oh, and it's not acceptable. And that is the reason why, again, I'm glad you're on the show today, to show you. I see me and you.
Thank you.
I do. I see me and you, because they told me many times, you haven't given up yet?
Right.
And I won't until my child is back home.
Or how about they say you just wait until she come find you? What is wrong with you?
Oh my God, really? So you just forget about raising your child.
Okay, I need to get away from you. You ain't the person I want to talk to no more.
Wow.
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 That's a lot of people's favorite line. She'll find you. She'll come back to. I'm not sitting there waiting for that. I want to raise my daughter. That's my daughter. I want my daughter.
Someone would say that to the biological mother of the child that she birthed in this world, that she still loves, she missed. I mean, they're not just this object. They're not a pair of socks or just something you just, an object you in your house. This is a heart and a soul.
It's horrible.
This is a legacy that represents you. It's bigger. It's bigger than what meets the eye.
Absolutely.
What you were saying that, Candace, I'm glad you said that, because that's going to actually lead me into my questions that I have for you. We have a lot of, viewers that, they even today, while we're taping this show live, they might submit questions in. And I even have some questions already that, viewers and others would like to know. And starting out, I would just like for you to share, what is the reason why? Well, what is CPS reason? Because I'm no attorney. I'm only a mother that have lived through what CPS tried to do, which is remove my son.
Right.
I'm talking from my personal experience. Okay. And I just like to, make that known. I'm not a legal attorney. That is the reason why we have Attorney Vince here. He definitely is, but I am not. And I just want to ask you again, because I just know that sometimes might not be factual reasons why children has been removed. It could be assumptions, that's not even real. So with that being said, Candace, what is the reason why CPS is saying that they removed your kids?
Because I was homeless.
Because you were homeless.
I was homeless.
And I would like to add to that. That is very interesting to me, because if I be honest, and I'm sure of others watching, nobody is perfect but God. Okay. So what that means is everybody have been through something. Okay. Whether they own up to it or not, every day has not been sunshine.
Not even just homeless, but what I even had to go through to try to avoid being homeless. The abuse that I had to endure, from her father, just so I can get the rent paid regularly every month, so we wouldn't be in this situation.
Talk about it.
But
So it's more to it than just
absolutely, there's way more to it. I put a whole lot of fight to avoid them trying to make me seem like I'm a bad parent or I'm a bad mom. But when it all boils down to it, it's because I was homeless.
it was because you were homeless. And with that being said, I just want to also share that it's been times where I've gotten behind on bills when you lose a job, or even, for example, when CPS did what they did with me, they took away half of my income. That's why I wasn't no longer able to maintain my house. And really, doing that, I could really say that I was homeless because I was looking for a place to stay. So what I'm saying is everybody's somewhere in life, some season in your life, you might have just hit a downfall. But just because you hit a downfall does not mean that you can't get back up again.
And I still, in the midst of my downfall and, going from pillar to post, I still didn't have my kids in an unsafe situation, besides dealing with the abuse from her father, being physically and mentally abused on a regular basis. Normally, like, it became normal. But the only thing I cared about was we need somewhere to live. And right now he's the income. You understand? Like, I done dealt with DHS. I don't want to deal with them. So yeah, let me just keep taking these behind whoopings because I know I'm gonna get their rent money out of them. And my kid, I'm still gonna have my kids. It just got to a point where I couldn't even take it no more. And then I obviously didn't learn from it because I ended up in a whole nother abusive situation. So it just went from one abusive situation to another abusive situation, trying to get away from the original abusive situation, trying to make my life better, and only made it worse. But I still never abused my daughter. I still ran around trying to find childcare for her that wasn't available for parents that are working, or, the CCIS take months for you to get approved. But it's I can go on for days. One question going to lead into something else is going to lead into something else. And I'm sure we don't have that much time. So I'm going to try to answer the basic points because the whole thing frustrates me. But because I was homeless.
Right. No, you answered the question, and I'm glad you answered the way you did, because if you're saying, and again, this is personal for me as well, because I'm also, I've been through domestic violence. And again,
that's a different world.
It's a totally different world, and people are not aware that sometimes it's not that you don't want to leave the situation of the abuse, but sometimes you have to create an escape plan.
Yes.
It's not just easy getting up and saying, okay, I'm gonna go, because 9 times out of 10, the person who you're trying to leave or escape from, which is the abuser, they are normally the ones that have the resources of the income. Okay. So with that being said, we live in a world where you have to pay bills, you have to pay to eat, you have to pay to live, you have to pay for clothes, you have to pay for daycare. So with that being said, that's why it's not as easily said than done. And my story, Beautifully Bruised, is basically based off of God telling me, okay, as you're going through this, I was in a domestic relationship for over 10 years. And not only, like you just said, you was just trying to do psychologically, physically, the best you can do with what you have.
Right.
And I don't think that someone should be punished for someone that is in an abusive relationship. They're trying to leave, they're trying to get away, and you're doing whatever you can within your means. And with that being said, was CPS aware that this person was abusive towards you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like a lot of things was going on, but this was like my daughter got removed from I put my daughter in a situation where I thought I was better off, and I still believe to this day, no matter the fight that I'm going through, but bypass all of that, I put my daughter in a situation where I thought would be best for her because I was saving her. Right. I removed my child from a situation from where she was with family members, and the family members were supposed to be accessible and responsible and help me with my daughter so we can avoid this whole thing.
Right. That was the plan. Right.
That was the plan. But you got to understand, because people know what DHS and CPS is, you can't call on people that wants to be a part of it. Nobody wants to be bothered with the system. So it might not even personally be towards you that they don't want to help you with your child, but they like, I don't feel like dumb and this and that, and telling me how my kids can live and what I'd allow to have in my refrigerator. I get that.
Right.
Pull upon a source where I put her with her grandma.
Okay.
And her grandma was just doing the wrong things with the money that she was receiving while I was in school, and my daughter could have drowned. So I had to make a decision because, and this was her father's mother.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what make this. That's what make it even worse.
Well, what you're saying that let me just comment with this being the father's mother. Is she also affiliated dealing with CPS? If you don't mind me asking.
She's not affiliated with nothing.
Okay, she's not. Okay. Because I just want to.
She's not affiliated with anything.
Okay.
And I know, I don't have no bad blood against them or nothing like that, but I just feel like they could have been a better resource so my daughter wouldn't end up in this situation.
Correct.
And I had to put her in foster care because I didn't want to bury my child. And ever since then, I've been fighting for her because of the caseworker that I got stuck with. Instead of her assisting me, she just had the shittiest attitude. Excuse my language, but she was just horrible.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Does it seem like you were trying to reach out to them for help, but instead they gave you the opposite of that? They made it worse for you with you and your children.
I asked for assistance because I was running from pillar to post. I asked for assistance.
Right.
They said they would help me if I agreed to open up a case. And my mom told me, she said, Candace, they ain't gonna be with shit. Just like that. Don't listen. And I'm like, but Mom,
you knew better.
You're not here to help me. Like, I need some help. I got these kids out here. Like, you're not here to help me, Mom. You're not in even a predicament to help me or for me to even listen to you. So I had to figure out something. Something had to give. These people was telling me they got everything that I need right there with a golden bucket.
That's what they'll tell you. Just to me, I think to draw you in.
It's like signing yourself away to the devil.
Absolutely. I definitely see it as a black hole. I do. It's a hole that, and they played many games with. Trust me. Like I said, I went through it for nearly a year, and every time nothing remained the same. So that's why
they give you 12 to 18 months to get your shit together, or they just take it, or they'll call you too. Do you agree to give up your parental rights?
Oh wow.
No.
So they verbally ask you to.
Yeah. Do you agree to give up your parental rights? No. Okay, well then we're going to involuntarily take them anyway.
Oh wow.
And that's exactly what they did.
See, I didn't know that.
12 to 18 months. You got to find somewhere to live, stable income, not do drugs, have clean urines, all kinds of stuff. Don't get mad, angry, feel no type of way. You can't cry or you go into anger management.
Right, they're going to find some fault in that. Right, that's what they do. They use whatever you're dealing with against you, even though they sometimes say they're really there to help you. And I just want to add this disclaimer because I do know someone personally that I do believe that, have the work for CPS. And I do believe that I've had this conversation with her before. I'd say, how could you work in a system that's so corrupt and broken that pretend like they're helping these families, but yet and still they're only pushing their kids away from their parents and to hope maybe not even be able to see them again. And her response to me was, well, I know it's darkness. She said, I know that it can be darkness, but she said, but somebody has to be a light. So again, and I say that because I am not just completely bashing the entire system. It is probably, a few,
it's a handful of individuals of workers that are actually good workers.
Right. And, but it's hard to view in some places. And one bad apple can spoil the bunch. So that's
at the end of the day, the whole system, the good workers don't have no way to help us because the system is not creating opportunities and ways to help us. So the workers are just out on and I'm talking about the good ones. Then you got the bad ones or the ones that don't care or the ones that don't have kids. They just do they know so they can get a check.
That's exactly, that's my stand as well. But she did share, and another thing too, she said, even though I don't agree with the decision that upper management is making, but they don't even allow their voice to be heard. They only go by seniority.
Absolutely.
So again, so that just goes to point that it is a corrupt system that's broken. Even something that's not even right, even the caseworker knows it's not right. You still have to follow what upper management say, which is not right.
And
So
explains
right
why
there.
and it's sad to say, but that's why I'm unemployed right now. And I'm looking for employment because I have responsibilities and bills to pay. But I just refuse to be I just don't agree with everybody's world and regulations and policies. And I just don't believe if it's right. I mean, if it's wrong, I don't want it. I don't want to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
I don't agree with it. And I can't be in a situation where you force me to do something that I don't want to do.
Correct.
It just is horrible.
Let me ask you this, Candace. Have they provided any type of resources for you? Because I know that it's something that should be, available. But unfortunately, if you don't have a good caseworker, they might not even tell you that this is an option, that there are resources. Sometimes.
Okay. So the thing is now, like I only have caseworkers because of my baby son. I don't even have nothing even going on with my daughter, and that's the main piece I'm trying to get to. No, I don't have no assistance with my baby girl, my only daughter at that. I don't have the attorney that I did hire. He told me I wouldn't be in this mess if I ain't had my kids out of Woodlock. I paid him $4,000 for him to tell me that. Wow. He said, yes, I wouldn't be in this mess.
I don't see how that has anything to do with. That was obviously a sign that you need another attorney. Okay, so that was very well obvious. With that being said, I'm sorry, that question just threw me off. That he said to you, like,
yeah, that's how I felt.
What in the world? I speaking of that, I remember I had 5 attorneys. Until I was able to find the right one that was aggressive, that knew CPS laws, and that was willing to represent me and had my best interest in place. I want to say also, I think that's one of the comments that the prior attorney said, well, if he's adopted or you don't get him back, maybe you can see him again one day. I immediately removed her from the case. So the good news is once you see who they are, that is your ideal opportunity to say, hey, let me find an attorney that is aggressive, that knows the CPS laws, and that's willing to represent me. Not no one that's friends with the other, judge or the attorney, but someone that has your best interest in heart, that knows the laws of CPS and knows what to do to win. And again, that's why I highly recommend you speaking with definitely Attorney Vince, and if he's not available, someone that has that same status as well. And where you're located, which is Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. Are you located in the where are you located, Candace?
Unfortunately, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I'm from the Heart, not life.
Listen, but that's okay though, because I do believe, I just want to encourage you to keep going. You never know how God is going to turn this thing around. And I know it's easily said and done when you're in the thick of things. You feel like, where is the light at the end of this tunnel for heaven's sake? But just know that God has it all under control. Just keep the faith. I'm actually going to stay in contact with you. I'm going to follow up with you to make sure that you are going down the right path. I'm going to do see what resources that are available that can help you during this time, because I do know that you say that you have 2 children, if I'm not mistaken, that is in the system. Is that correct?
I have 2 children in the system, yes, but my baby son is with his grandmother, his father's mother, who is a DHS worker of 17 years. So she is bullying the whole show with me even trying to get my baby son home.
Okay, so your son's grandmother, the son that's in the system, his grandmother is his caseworker and the grandmother?
She supposedly not the caseworker, but she running the show like the caseworker, but he lived with her. But they're trying to give him back to his father, who's a full-time criminal and abuser to women.
Oh my God. Listen. Wow. Okay. So with that being said, is he the person that was also abusive towards you?
Yes. And this is why they have my son, because that's when I got tired of getting beat up. I just got tired and I like I said, I had to leave him and just start over. I couldn't even take my baby because I already knew how his grandma was. She said, I'm not going to drag my kids in a situation that don't need to be in. And she didn't even give me, the caseworker or her didn't even give me an opportunity to even be a parent to this son. And the reason why I'm fighting for him is because he know me. He know his mom. He love his mom. He's 5. I thought
Nothing like a mother's love. It's nothing like a
I
mother's
thought he forgot about me or didn't know me, and I was getting ready. I was at that point because them two, his mom and the dad and the grandmom, just stresses me out so bad. I just didn't want to deal with it, and I was just like, I'm just gonna sign my rights over. He don't know me, like they done already took him, but he does. He know his mom, so I'm fighting for him too. So
How old is your son and your daughter?
my daughter, I believe she will be 10 this year, October 7th.
Okay, she'll be 10. And how old is your son?
My son will be 6, August 20th.
Okay, they're still little. What was the last time you saw both of them?
I seen my baby son yesterday because I have supervised visits like I've been to jail and never been to jail before.
Wow.
I see him weekly every Tuesday supervised, and I have not seen my daughter since her birthday of 4 years ago.
Okay, so with that being said, so your son, because normally when you can show or they continue with your supervised visits, and obviously, that's consistently going on, normally they would take it to where they're unsupervised. So
Right. But the thing is with that, and I have a new caseworker who is actually Team Candace, but it took forever for me to it's just I didn't have them before. So she is even bothered by the situation. And I wish I would have had your case just a little bit earlier because I want to condone this to happen. These courtrooms and stuff is set up to just aim for what they already want to aim for or what their attention is based on. And you looking at the judge so you condoning this behavior and you still want to get a shot at him? But this is what
was it brought into the case of the domestic violence with dad? Was that brought to the judge?
So I was fighting for my son already from when I became unhomeless.
Right.
The only reason why we've gotten to this point, I had got custody of him and everything, but he was never compliant. He was never bringing my son like he was supposed to, dropping him off, none of that. He eventually got arrested. When I thought I was going to court to get him, it was actually a DHS case, and I didn't even know that. So I'm stepping into something that I wasn't even aware of. So now I got to go through this process all over again when a whole nother judge had already granted me custody for my son. So I'm not even trying to take him from y'all. He a toddler. I'm trying to build a business right now wrapped around whole DHS reform. I don't even want a toddler full time. But I still want my son. I want my son to know he is a mom.
That is definitely right. The object is to get your son back. I mean, so we're definitely aware of that. But I want to say that, okay, that's very interesting. So did you have an attorney at the time when you had to go back?
Every attorney that come in my face.
Have an attorney. So that again,
I do. I get them. No, a judge give you an attorney.
I'm not talking about the pro bono attorney, because to me, a lot of those attorneys there, you need one that's not probably going out to dinner or to, no connections whatsoever. You need some attorney that's separate, that is aggressive, that knows the CPS laws. Again, that's why I'm going to see if we can connect you where you can have a consultation with Attorney Vance to see, what direction that this needs to go in reference to everything that you're saying that has transpired up until this point. Let me ask you also, Candace, that's very interesting. So I know with your daughter, so or did you say that they are basically trying to stop your parental rights?
No, my parental rights have been involuntarily terminated as of 2018.
They
or
have
17. 17. I have the whole file over here. I got all the paperwork. But yeah, my parental rights have been involuntarily terminated.
Okay, they have been involuntary. Okay. And again, I'm no attorney, but I have heard Attorney Vince speak with his guests on his show, on his platform, that even sometimes that can be reversed as long as you are doing what you're supposed to do and have the right resources in place to help you fight this case and to win your kids back. So I'm just trying to let you know, still don't give up.
Thank you.
Do not give up. Um, I want to ask you, with that being said, and the memories that I seen in the video that was shown earlier, beautiful little girl, with your son as well. What do you miss most about the both of your children?
Well, I haven't been able to create a bond with my baby son, but besides, the visits. But my daughter that's my only girl, and I
Oh,
just being able to miss being able to bond with her, period.
right,
It's certain things that I can't even do because it does remind me of her, or it's triggering.
right.
I cannot hear Frozen. I cannot hear Elsa. It causes anxiety attacks and panic attacks and suicidal thoughts that they blame you for having.
Jesus. Well, I will say, my God, if a person have never been in our shoes, you easily could try to look down on people and try to judge them. And with that being said, I just want to say, if you never walked in the shoes where your children has been wrongfully taken, not allowed you a chance to, just like she say, her baby, that movie you mentioned, many moms, many fathers, many grandparents, many family members and friends know that movie, that baby would love to hear. Once they just hear the movie come on, the kids go running or ask them, can they go watch that movie? So it's a bond, like you said, has been uprooted. It's been snatched away. It's actually a piece of you, a piece of your heart that has been ripped apart. And it's connected to that baby and to those memories, those precious memories that you're speaking of as of today. And I just want to say, even this is a scripture that spoke out to me when I originally spoke with you, which is Proverbs 24:16. For a thought of a righteous man falls 7 times. He rises again, but the wicked are brought down by criminality. I also want to share that, and I see this in you as well. Passionate people hang in there when the going gets tough. They persist and they preserve. They never lose heart and they never quit. And when I tell you some of the same emotions you just mentioned, because I asked God, am I going to make it through this? I remember 1 week, I lost 30 pounds in 1 week. From insomnia, from depression, from shame, from sadness, from depression. Let's be honest. I'm out
Stuff
here.
that you didn't even know existed.
I never had insomnia in my entire life.
Right, insomnia is serious, and I didn't even know there was something wrong at all. I'm sorry, I gotta cut this oven off.
No, you're totally fine. So I'm just saying, I don't want people to say, "Oh my gosh, how can they say that?" But if your child is wrongfully taken away, and they're telling you just to forget about this kid that you love, that you've given birth to, that's your legacy, who you want to see enjoy their birthdays, them reading their first books, them smiling at you and say, "Mommy, I miss you, I love you." Put yourself in that person's shoes. And just think about how your heart would feel, how it would break, how the cries, the tears just come out of nowhere for no reason at all. You could be laughing 1 minute and thinking about the loss of your child that's no longer there with you. And you look back, you're crying suddenly. It takes you on an emotional roller coaster.
Absolutely.
In my experience and what I've seen, they want you to break down.
Absolutely.
They want you to give up.
Absolutely.
Because to me, it seems like politics and power is more connected to CPS than it is them having a sincere, pure, genuine heart with reuniting these kids back to their families.
Correct.
Sometimes it doesn't take a child being adopted out to another family. Sometimes it takes putting resources in place, helping parents to get to where they need to be, whether it's financial, mental or emotional, whatever the case might be.
And I'm working on all of them for everybody. I'm working on all of them.
That's what I'm saying. Just give the things that's necessary to help these families to grow and go to be better versus just uprooting these children. Even the children don't know what happened. Like you shared with me, the child probably wondered, do I even love him anymore? Right. And that is something that I experienced that made me break and cry.
The last time I saw her, I remember her being depressed. I have the picture of her looking so sad, not knowing what's going on. She with these strange people, and they just force it. They just force it on her.
Yes, absolutely. They're forced on it. You don't even know who these people are. Everybody that looks like they're good parents, that doesn't mean they're good parents.
Absolutely not.
They could be in it too just for a paycheck.
Absolutely.
Statistics have shown that a child is normally, if it's not an abusive relationship, of course, if it's nothing where the child is seriously being, abused and harmed, of course, then they need to be removed from that family. Of course
Right.
they do.
But
if
it
you
was
have
none of that going on.
Exactly. But if that is not the case, then why not allow the services to be implemented, provide the resources that's needed to help these parents so they can be better for themselves, most important for the children in themselves.
You
That's
sound like how I said it on the news a couple of years ago. Go, Latrika. You
I'm
said it.
serious. I mean, it's not a game. These are hearts and souls we're talking about.
Yes.
And these children deserve better. I definitely will say that. They deserve better.
Okay.
And I want to just also include with that, I noticed you said in your spare time, because we're actually pushing for time, getting close to our time at the end of this segment, but this is so much great information that's being shared. I want to ask you, Candace, in your own spare time, you did mention, and I want to get a little bit more details regarding that. What have you been doing in your own personal time to help yourself and other women to become more involved?
Yeah, so I am in the process of, building this brand, women empowerment consulting firm called
Okay.
Lasers Legacies, Creating Legacies Enterprises, where I am assisting women to boss up and get your shit together. We need to level up so we can get these numbers down and keep our children out the system.
Correct. And what's the name of it again? Can you say it again?
So I've been studying generational barriers, credit repair, personal credit, business credit, money management, banking. I'm about to get my associate's degree in about less than 3 weeks in business, so I can be able to be a leader. I am trying to lead these moms. So I'm sick of them. I want to tear DHS down brick by brick nationwide. I'm like, and I don't want to be a part of politics. I tried it. That's what I thought I wanted to do at one point. But that's because I was emotional and I felt some type of way, and I just want to chase power. Like, I'm about to run for the city of Philadelphia. I done had enough of this.
I love your plans and your energy. I do.
I done got myself together, and I want to do this. I want to build my brand wrapped around my daughter, with her creating a legacy, helping other moms create legacies. Her legacy is helping creating legacies. We have to break these generational barriers. We have to be financially literate so we can win, so they can't even come at us. We have to learn our human rights and our civil rights laws, because we're so uneducated, because our ancestors and our moms and our grandmoms, they didn't know, they wasn't taught. And it's the 80s generation now, where we learning everything and we putting it out there. We not the 9-to-5 type no more. We hustlers. That's the difference. We out here hustling to make a better living for ourselves. And we need to be able to take care of our kids too. So I'm hustling so I can get y'all to hustle so we could get rid of the HS, because I'm over it.
I totally agree. And say, for example, you have viewers that's watching the show, or they're going to watch the rerun, and if they want to connect with you and say, hey, I am interested also in being a part of this movement of being able to positively encourage other moms to, start your own business, go back to school, or create this, like you say, for your daughter, you're creating legacy for her once she returned back home, her and your son. What is an email, or do you have a contact email address where they can reach you to get more information with the vision, with what you're trying to do?
Yeah, so I can be reached on Facebook, Candace Valentine with an I, because everybody spelled Candace with an A, but with an I. On Instagram at MadeOfficial2K3. And my email address is CandaceValentine37@gmail.com. So yes, I am looking for all kind of assistance, offers, advice, prayer, because my vision is huge. And I only can see my vision. I'm trying to do it all. A clothing line under Selena Monet, that's her name.
And you can. What is her name? What is your daughter's name?
Selena Monet.
Beautiful.
So right, I'm trying to turn it into a clothing brand and help my moms, have stuff to wear and their kids have stuff to wear, so we can feel empowered and not have to feel like we don't have nothing. I'm trying to put Yanni products so we can keep ourselves, have some self-care, journals, because the power of the pen, honey, is
Yes, I'm telling you, knowledge is power. I
yes,
say it all the time.
yes.
It
So
is.
I'm working on a variety of different things, and
Praise
I'm all over the place, and I'm multitasking. So if I can get people to just come and be like, yeah, I'm good at this, graphic design, marketing, I got an idea for you, I'm all ears. And
Well, I
these
noticed your
just
page.
need the advice.
Yes, and I'm sure that you will be hearing from people because I've noticed your page. I like what I've seen. You seem to be very creative with the box. I've seen that you created, so I just loved all that. So I know that's gonna your daughter, once she see that, when she returns back home, I'm gonna speak it into the atmosphere.
Please do. I love that. I like the way you talk, because my kids be looking at me like I'm crazy because I talk to myself, and I be like, "Say that's your problem. Y'all better stop playing with the universe." I'm bringing my daughter home. Like,
You gotta speak it into the atmosphere. You have to claim it,
I'm not
and you
going
know
to
what, and keep
satisfy.
working it, and don't give up. And with that being said, I know, like I said, this the segment is going by so fast because again, there's so much information is being provided. I also want to ask you, because you mentioned something to me that also touched my heart with your other children that I want the viewers to know as well. You said that your sons had asked you. Well, I worded how you shared it with me. What is it that you say that have caused your other children to no longer believe in God due to the CPS and everything that has happened?
Oh yeah, my son don't believe in God at all. I play gospels every morning but he just don't have no faith.
Wow.
Because and my son was in foster care with my daughter.
Oh,
He's
really?
my oldest. So he felt like, in the midst of him being in foster care and people supposed to be taking care of him, my son was at the gas station hustling money so he can feed, my daughter. And they never had to go through that living with me. So for him to witness his sister, he said a van pull up and take her, he just felt defeated. Because it was his job to protect her. The caseworker even tried to lie and say he was touching on her. All this, it's just
Right.
they just created.
Yes, they will.
That would have never happened.
Mhm.
That would have never happened. So yeah, my son, I tried to keep my faith for him, but until I get my daughter back, he look at me like I'm crazy. He looks at me like I'm crazy for believing into a God.
Because he don't understand with it, like you say, these people are CPS are supposed to be here to help my family, but instead they're destroying my family. And I
He
can't,
is 19 and he not cold-hearted, but he has no feelings.
of course.
And I have to I check on him all the time. He say he not depressed or nothing like that, but he holds stuff in. He
Right.
don't, he be like, Mom, I'm just not gonna let it stress me. Like, I can't let it get to me. I'm ever since he said that was the last time he cried when they took Elijah away. So y'all just out here just mentally breaking
Disturbing
people. Like, you mentally breaking people.
Yes,
Y'all
absolutely.
don't even care about the effect
Right.
that you are placing on human beings, and you want to call us crazy
Right.
or put us on a bunch of medications
And
or
that's
hold it against us because we smoke marijuana.
Mhm.
What?
With that being said, Candace, I also like to share that I have been reading and looking at statistics showing that, like you said, this is not a temporary thing that children go through once they've been in the system. They've been horribly traumatized. And a lot of time they grow up to being grown men that is still traumatized from the long negative effects of all they have witnessed, which was a lot of times being molested.
I'm a victim of the foster care system and being molested in the foster care system by my foster brother. So you think I'm not worried about my daughter? I got to live with this. Yes, I remember that at 11 years old.
Jesus.
DHS put me into a foster home, and my foster brother was very inappropriate to me.
So
And he was a teenager. He was about 17, and I was 11.
wow.
Yes.
So you're telling me that you were also, this is like a vicious cycle.
Absolutely.
that's continuing now. You were molested in the foster care system, and now you're dealing with your children.
And I think that's probably why it might be, I don't know. I think that's why I'm going so hard for her, because I don't want her to go through it.
Right.
I don't want her to feel violated or disrespected or end up on drugs because she felt like I just gave her up. I don't want her to give up on herself, because it happens. These teenagers out here, it's just they hate the world.
Yeah.
They hate the world. They hate their parents, because I don't know. I'm a parent that tried, and I have a 16-year-old right now that hates me.
Jesus.
And I'm like, bro, I'm fighting for all of y'all. Right. I'm just trying to keep on.
And you're not fighting by yourself. You're not fighting by yourself. Because I would like to share, even with your son, like even with the work that I do with Daddy Lights Ministry, I would like to connect with you on another level, even with men that's in ministry, you know, that there have been, that's their post is giving life into children that have given up on life. Sometimes it just takes the right person to say the right words, to pick their spirits back up, to encourage them, to let them see something that's consistent. You know, let them see something that's stable, to let them know that, you know, God is still able, no matter what the devil tried to do to you. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. So I would like to personally, like I say, connect with you, with your son, and bring in a positive male figure that, like I say, that works in ministry, works with the church. And again, you know, like I say, someone that, you know, virtually, you know, if it's just being able to conversate through virtual. You know,
I need all the help I can get, especially with this team.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We're in different states. So, right. But I trust, because I do not want no one to have a bad reference of God just because what the devil meant for evil. I know for a fact, I've lived it, that what was meant for evil, God can turn it around for the good. So that is why I would like to connect with you. I will stay in contact with you and try to help you bring in the necessary resources to help you and your family to get back on track where you need to be. And again, with that being said, Candace, I just want to also share what have not already been shared, because we're getting ready to wrap up our segments today of the show. But what do you believe that the viewers still had not heard about your family, that you think they would be important to share, as well as helping others to avoid some of the same unfortunate encounters that you've had with CPS? Is there any type of wisdom that you would tell other parents or families to warn them to be aware of who CPS really is? Like you said, beginning, you thought there was something good until you realized that they were only using you for what you were sharing to hold that against you.
Absolutely.
What positive advice?
Listen, DHS, CPS, they make 12% off each child that they put in the system to finalize an adoption.
Wow.
Do not put yourself in it.
Wow.
These caseworkers aim to put our children up for adoption. They will make up any little thing, violate your due process, whatever your rights. Do not. Just run to my email, and I will try to send you in another direction, but do not get involved with these people, because they are not here to help you. And the caseworkers that will try to help you, they have no resources to help you. So you need to become your own leader. Right. We have no leaders out here for us. We have nobody out here fighting for us. Right. We have to fight for us in order to fight for our children. We have to be our own leader.
We do. We have to be our own advocates. And I am praying that laws will change for these victims of these families. That is my prayer. If I don't do nothing else on earth other than raising my children in a way they should go, and just being the woman that God has called me to be, I am praying that enough stories are being shared and told that someone will wake up and try to do something to change the trajectory of CPS, to make it better for all of us to live in and have to deal with someone such as them. I would also like to ask you the very final question for today, try to be on a more of a positive note. What would be the first thing that you will be doing, that you would like to do, by bringing your family back together away from CPS and both your children coming back home to be with the rest of your family? How would you like to love and celebrate on your children once you like I say, once they come back, what would be the first thing that you will love to do, that you know they will love to do together as a
Oh
family?
my goodness, it's crazy that you say that because I think about that all the time. And I just want to have like a big gathering, a big get together,
Oh, that'll be good.
for families in the city. And I want to be able to just bring my daughter out as a surprise, showing that it's possible. And I have everything that these moms need at that, at this big cookout, at this big event that y'all need. I have the housing, I have the safe haven, I have the child care, I have the journals for y'all, the creating legacies. I got Selena Monet shirts. I got, the whole line. Like, I want these moms to be like, Candace, help me get my shit together. Period. Help me level up. Help me so I could get my kids. That's what I want.
You have
So
vision
yeah,
of
I look
hope.
forward to it
Yes.
all the
I
time.
love that. I love that. That is great. That is good to hear. And sometimes you just have to even something like that, hold on to the positive of that. One day, God is able. It's not over yet. As long as you keep fighting, keep doing what you got to do, that can be a reality. That's something you can just
Right.
hold on to and say, okay, this is my goal. This is my goal. And
Right.
this is what I'm going to do
Mhm.
once my children are returned back. And I just also like to
Absolutely.
share, with that being said, that God is our refuge of strength, a very present help in a time of trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, even though the earth is removed and through the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, through its waters roar and be troubled, through the mountains shake that is within swelling. So again, I just want to say the main point of what I just read is that God is a refuge of strength in a time of trouble. And there is nothing too hard that God cannot turn around and that he can't do. Sometimes you have to hold on to those nuggets, no matter how you feel, no matter what you're going through, but you have to encourage your own self at times. And that's what I want you to do, to not, keep fighting a fight, keep fighting a good fight of faith. And watch and see, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, having the right attorney in your corner and keeping prayed up and keeping your strength, watch and see that God can use your story for his glory. And I am a living witness that that can be done. And with that being said, also just know too, my words of advice for today is to let your life outlive their lives. Let your life outlive their lives, no matter what they say about you. Action speaks louder than words.
I agree.
They really do. So with that being said, Candace, again, I thank you for coming on our show today. I am going to reach out. Oh, absolutely. And we're going to I would like to bring you back at some point in time, just to follow up with you, just to see where you're going with the CPS case, and just to bring on more information to help our listening viewers know what's taking place and what even more they need to be aware of.
Absolutely. I'm here for it.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
Okay, great, Candace. Again, thank you. God bless you. And I will be in touch with you.
Thank you. Y'all have a blessed day as well. Thank you.
Thank you. You're so welcome. So again, everyone, I just want to say, oh my God, that story is just, oh Jesus. I tell you, it just makes you think. You hear stories like this, that people are really going through things in life. I couldn't dare not hear these type of stories and just go on like it doesn't matter. Anything that you can do in your community that can help people that's dealing with CPS, whether it's the parents, the grandparents, or even family or friends, support them and encourage them like no other. You never know what that silent cry, what a person may be going through. That encouragement that you share with them might be the exact thing that's needed to keep them from doing something they'll regret. So let's love on each other. Let's encourage each other, and let's try to lift each other up and support them by keeping God first. So again, I just want to say, thank you for tuning in to Beautifully Bruised and the CPS show. And thank you, and have a great day.